Welcome to 933 Portland Place. Today's show, The Pain Diaries, Part 1. Breaking the myths through education. There is much to be said about how fear incites pain. Fear is what happens when something you don't understand threatens to enter your life in some way. I can relate this directly to the road, so all of you will understand the importance of conquering fears. I was past the midpoint of the walk, somewhere in Texas, when it started to dawn on me that soon I would be going through the desert, something I had never done before. There was much to fear. There was much I didn't know about. I was asking all the locals I could find, thinking I would get a well-rounded, many-sided look at it and what to expect. It was overwhelming. I expected some horror stories, but I remember meeting a woman on a plane who was from the Inland Empire, and she had many, many good things to say about it. She really loved living there and saw it as a spiritual, sacred place. But after talking to a handful of locals outside Arizona, I was truly afraid. Every story, even from kids, was worse than the one before it. The temperatures in the daytime were going to hit over 125 degrees, and they were all reporting 30s and 40s at night. Everyone agreed I needed gallons of water, so I got a 5-gallon jug, which was a great counterweight for the 120 pounds of gear in the wheelbarrow. I decided to keep all the camping gear because of the cold at night. People said to keep a good winter coat with me, so I did. These same people were more worried about the weather than they were the wildlife, like rattlesnakes, scorpions, tarantulas, fire ants, all waiting to attack me as soon as I laid down to rest. When I started out across the desert, around Kingman, Arizona, the temperatures were hitting 125 degrees, and I was cooked. After about 45 miles, I just had to lay down. I was very, very tired. I could barely keep my eyes open, but I was so afraid to lay down. I thought if I did, I would be carried off by insects and bitten repeatedly by snakes and scorpions, but I was so tired. Thoughts flooded in of the ghettos in Philadelphia, where I was deep in, but so tired I just didn't care. This not caring made me seem invisible, as though no one noticed I was there. So I laid down and I went to sleep. I was so tired I didn't care if I woke up sick and bitten. When I awoke some 4 hours later, after literally lying on the desert floor, not a bug near me or had been near me, not one track of anything, but it was very hot. I was cooked. So I walked to a gas station and got something to drink. I was on the verge of sunstroke. After drinking a gallon of red Big Gulp stuff, I decided to call my friend, a man who was an encyclopedia of knowledge of everything outdoors. I asked him an hour's worth of questions. And he gave me the book, Learning of the Mojave Desert. Up to 130 degrees at the high point of daytime, which is around 5 p.m., and 95 degrees at night. I decided to walk at night, which worked out well because I was mostly a graveyard shift worker. The wildlife was really not much to worry about. I guess there is so little human contact with the desert flora and fauna that the animals are mostly afraid of humans. My friend's advice: just act very human. I guess humans have a rhythm all their own. It's a very choppy, inconsistent type of beat to their walking and movement. They do things with an unabashed determination, as though they always have a place to go, a destination, and their focus is on it without waver. I became very human in my movements. At this point of the walk, I knew my power pretty good. I knew I could control the good and bad to a point, and I really believed in the auto-suggestion part of the law of attraction. My mantra when I meditated was, nothing bad will happen. This walk will be uneventful. And I had little or no fear that this would happen. And it did. 0. No events. No snakes or scorpions. No mountain lions or killer rabbits. Not one bad thing. Except the ibuprofen bleed out. I believe this is where I solidified my power and learned to trust what I thought, what I wanted, what I believed. The power was undeniable. When I was in the hospital with the bleed out, the whole 10 days, until I was on the road again, was a test. I was playing with the power. I knew it was there. I have written audio and video journals of this so I can prove it, but you can believe me. It's an ancient practice, scientifically proven by quantum physics, and a discipline practiced by many, many people under many, many names and religious names. Remember, I wasn't trying to prove that. I was out to show how to conquer the secondary world of pain. Since it begins in the thought, it also ends in the thoughts. A better way to put it is, if it develops negatively in the thoughts, mixed with emotions and trust, it can also be turned to positives, like happiness and productivity, through the same manner. I was going to take it one step further by the end of the walk, take it to the physical level and cure my spine problem. I tried and tried using the same rituals and thoughts that got me through the desert, and I cured a lot of stuff 2 years later, still in the grasp of the walk's building of power. I never could, however, make a dent in the bone marrow disease, so I decided to keep this to a treatment and pain management thing, not a cure. But I still believe that if you took this belief power one step further, you could actually make your disease go away. How strong is your belief? I'm telling you this to let you know how knowledge is the key to conquering fears, and once you get rid of the fears, you have a lot of power in your beliefs. Included in this packet are numerous myth breakers of knowledge, important subjects that your doctors won't tell you about. Pretty much only fellow pain patients will know and understand these things. In order to move through swinging the curve, you must have a lot of trust and belief. This doesn't have to be as scary as people make this out to be. If you just read and study and give some things a try, during this practice, the 3 important steps to swinging the curve will set in. The more accepting you are of this power of healing, the more it will set and take hold. The forgiveness I felt during my setting in process still to this day is enormously helpful and positive. It gives me a calming peace that overrides my pain and my down curves. So please, just keep doing things that are in this direction of healing. Try to take your mind off the outcome and let it set in. Following are some articles for your perusal. Read them and learn. Look things up on the internet and learn. Listen to friends and family and people of knowledge and learn. Don't take anything as the absolute truth, even what you read and hear and see here. We know now what the truth, the real truth, looks like, and we have learned how to get it. So read these things and use what you've learned and conquer the fear through understanding. Anytime you hear someone mention something that causes you fear, immediately look it up and study it. Don't believe it until you've looked at it from all sides. Do not study toward your own agenda. The drawback to having the internet as an encyclopedia is that there are many, many voices contributing to the knowledge base. I have done this myself when asked to contribute an article for a magazine and one for a newsletter. Since I was writing on a controversial subject, I thought I would show the editor and the readers how you can argue both sides of a subject convincingly. The information is out there. The studies and research is documented and available. So how can you tell what the truth is? First, it should equal the factual data, the hard, cold numbers. Next, it probably doesn't make you look good. Third, it's compiled by objective sources who have no agenda but to report the results. I'm sure you know how to research. These guidelines are just a few to keep you on track and to weed out the possible liars and fakers. Believe me, this takes some practice to learn and to be able to spot agendas. I am somewhat of a cynic now, so I approach everything from a non-believing state. This means I have to dig to find what's right, and I start out to prove my own theory wrong, if it's something very important. So go ahead and read the following